Hi, I'm Deborah, the Smile Lady, and Smile is support, motivate, invest, love, and educate. Been in Altadena for since 1978. Well, it started back in 1992 when I really didn't know how to smile. And SMILE wasn't even an acronym. It was just like I would smile and my face would quiver because there was so much pain. And so 1992, when the Rodney King thing happened, I said, you know, it's my job and everybody's job to make a difference. And SMILE came out of it because I saw this girl who had such a wonderful attitude. And she had attitude written everywhere. And I said, why do you have that up? Because you're so sweet. She said, I had to speak to myself. So I picked SMILE because I didn't really know how. And I said, if that's going to teach me how to smile, I may as well pick that. Yeah.
What are the goals of your show, and what are your goals of reaching these to others?
Well, since I love theater, but it's a lot. You put a lot in the production, a couple of days, and boom, it's over. And only the people who came see it. So I said, wow, smile and spread a little joy around the world. Media would do it. How would I do that? And so I started taking my theater techniques. Now I can do it digitally and get it out there. And it is, the message is tapping into a child's inner smile, which is their passion. Support, motivate, invest, love, and educate. We were all born to smile.
Who is your audience?
The base audience when I'm in school is from like 9 to 18. It was 9/11, but when 9/11 came, they kind of confused it. I said juniors 9/11, and then they would confuse it with the 9/11. But basically, my audience has been like 9 to about 18, and I just got into a new niche, which, sad to say, is 30-year-old grandmothers. And that's a niche that I don't want to expand, but I want to tap in to stop that generational being a grandmother at 30.
Do you think a lot about your audience and how they will respond or relate to you and your content?
Oh yes, yes. I lived a lot of what I teach, and basically I've been through I can't even begin to name and keep this a G-rated show. Everything I've been through and experienced and all of that. But that's what I think builds my character and enables me to teach what I teach.
What is your relationship to your viewers? Is there any interaction you have between each other?
Yes, I interact in the school, after school programs, churches, juvenile halls. That's my main place, foster homes and juvenile halls. I won't friend them on Facebook or all of that. I think that's going a little far, but I will socialize with them face to face. So I'm still old school there.
Okay, so how local are your ambitions? Do you hope to reach others outside of the Pasadena community, and how has the internet played a role in getting your show more out there?
When I came to the studio, which came kicking and screaming, I felt that was a good way to get it to more people. And as a Smile Lady, I have a program, but I was getting so busy because they wanted me. And I'm like, I can only be me at one place at a time. You know, I haven't cloned me. But when it became just me, it was difficult. But on the show, I was able to spread it a little quicker, and then they can request me. It became more manageable. YouTube, PasadenaMedia.org, SmileLady.org helped me go worldwide as opposed to just locally. And Smile is worldwide, universal.
All right. So how much of your personal self is present in your public?
85%. 85%. Bonquisha comes out sometimes, and I have to explain that. I explain that in the schools, that just because I'm the Smile Lady doesn't mean everything is funny.
Yeah.
Prejudice isn't funny. Bullying isn't funny. Hate crimes is not funny. KKK don't have a comedy store. You know, so I'm up here saying that that's not funny. So the other side may come out. Bonquisha, that's still a personality. But what I'm trying to say is a lot of my personal compassion and experiences from being abused, from being homeless to being in jail, all of that, that is personal. It's real. You know how those rappers say, well, I've been shot, this, that, and the other. I'm a grandma that's gone through a lot of this and didn't think I was going to live past 30. That's why I'm writing the book. Growing up at 60, I've doubled my lifespan. I've doubled it. So I know there's a purpose for me if I've lived longer than I thought I was, 30 years longer. I mean, you didn't even have a dream, like Martin Luther King said, because you just knew at 30 you were going to be gone where I was raised. You can look it up, the projects of Cleveland, Ohio.
Wow.
And the streets of New York. Yes, you can look it up. This is no joke.
What inspires you?
Oh, did you even have to ask that? Number one, children, knowing they're going to change my diapers one day. Knowing one, children, they're brilliant. And I think I said in one of the questions that Whoopi Goldberg, Dr. Maya Angelou, Mother Teresa, you could put her in here now, and Oprah. You shake them all up and you have me.
So what would you change about mainstream media?
The negative messages and the way they glorify it, and one of the programs I watched as part of an assignment is Cribs, and they would show the glory and the benefits, but they wouldn't show the backstory on how they got that.
Exactly.
I would have been okay showing the mansion and the 15 cars and this and the swimming pool and the basketball court, but don't make it look like I just got this and snapped my finger. Say how I was homeless and went bankrupt and this and stayed up all night studying scripts and have one leg or whatever. Tell them the hard work that went into it. I think we're making it too glorified for the kids to think they can get this. The beauty. My beauty is way different than yours. I think I'm just as gorgeous as you are, but in a different
I
way.
think more.
Yes. But they don't say that all beauty is beauty. They will pick, oh, her nose is too fat, she's not pretty. Just like they did the other day. I just went, the most gorgeous man in America. I said, oh, my boo is better than that. I should have submitted his name. Who's classifying who's the most gorgeous man in America? That's the thing in mainstream. And little kids will pick that up and say, if that's the most gorgeous man, well, I got to look like Aaron. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to do this and shave my face and do this, and now the game has changed. So that's my problem with mainstream. When the kids get it, they go for it, and the parents not instilling that positive. I'm not going to put it all on the media, the parents at home, but if they don't have parents at home, they're in foster homes or juvenile halls or homeless, what? You can't blame it all on the media.
We talked about the mainstream. Is there anything you would change about public media?
I think you should really make it public and make the public feel they're welcome, not just an added thing to keep me open. And that's it.
What does public access mean to you?
Oh, it's the best kept secret ever. And I think once we access it and there's collaborations between the producers and the place, it's a gold mine. And I think they can learn from each other. I think we act like it's employee and you are stuff. I think if we treat everybody like we're on an equal level, we're peers, that's when it will work.
All right. What is the greatest success that you've experienced on the production of your show? And then can you also share what has been a bump in the road or the biggest disaster you've experienced?
Biggest disaster is having a fabulous show and they didn't have it recorded. That's one of them. And then another where the guest didn't show up and I had to sit there and talk to myself for an hour because I wasn't going to pay $90 for canceling the show. I said, I don't have $90, so I'm going to have to talk to myself for whatever. And so I did. I did about 2 or 3 shows talking to myself. It was horrible, but the best is when people come up to me and says, oh my goodness, you inspired me or whatever, and that makes it kind of worth it. And I went to the Hollywood Bowl and some viewers saw me and stood up, hey, Smile Lady, and I'm like, oh my goodness, so that was kind of good.
Can you also share about how people call you OA?
Oh, okay. People call me OA. They were saying, hey, OA, and I'm like, OA? Is that like OG? But what does the A stand for? Oh, Old Altadena. And I'm thinking, I'm assuming, you know, I'm old. I live in Altadena, so that made sense. So finally one day said, hello, why don't you ask? So I asked, what is OA? They said, Oprah of Altadena. And so that was a compliment to me. The one thing I do, and this is one of the tests I give, there's another test I give in my workshops, is what is Bin Laden, Mother Teresa, Dr. Phil, Hillside Strangler, you, me, Aaron, Dr. Maya Angelou, all have in common.
We're people?
We're people, yeah. But the main thing the Smile Ladies look for, we're all started out as children. Now, the seeds that were planted as children makes a difference. If you go back in time and you saw Bin Laden in your class, but you knew what he did, what would you do differently to help him keep from doing what he did? And you would be surprised what the children tell me. It makes me want to cry.
Wow.
They said he needed more hugs,
Aw.
or he needed a smile. He needed more friends.
What 5 words would best describe your show?
Support, motivate, invest, love, and educate.
And what is the most important message that you want to send home to your viewers?
Holding on to anger and resentment is like taking poison, hoping the other person dies. And your life is in the hands of those who can make you mad. So why not smile? Why not share that smile instead of being angry and giving control to people who can make you angry? That's your choice to get angry. You could choose to be angry, or you could choose to smile. Support, motivate, invest, love, and educate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Yolanda Mitchell-Brown, and I am the creator and producer of Everyday Woman Talk Show, a talk show for everyday women. We celebrate what women are doing in the community.
So how did you first access this kind of work?
Well, I was born to talk, so I thought a talk show would be perfect for me to, share, give back, and how I feel that women can empower themselves better. So it's a great visual medium to give women information that they need.
And what initially drew you to public media?
A is great for the community, and it's give them an alternative to what's on regular television. And B, it was a studio. I needed a studio, and I thought it was great. And Pasadena studio allowed me to be creative with my set and with my crew and my host. So it was a great choice.
What are the goals of your show, and what are the goals of reaching your show to others?
I have so many goals for the show. I think my biggest goal is to continue to highlight everyday women, their achievements, give them an opportunity to get a chance to express, share, and promote their projects, their books. So that's one of the goals, is to continue to give women who have these dreams an opportunity to come on a talk show and promote themselves. I have so many other goals for the show. One goal is to take the show national, make it a syndicated talk show, so that we can I can actually invite some guests on the show outside the Los Angeles area, because I get so many women from around the world contacting me to be on the show. So I'm really excited about that opportunity.
Great. Who is your audience?
Well, most people would think that our audience are mostly women, but we have a large male following. Now, it could have something to do that the women are really, really, really pretty, but I think it also has a lot to do with the content. But we do men and women, all age ranges.
Do you think a lot about your audience and how they will respond or relate to your content?
Mm-hmm. When I'm selecting topics, yes, I'm saying, okay, can my audience, the viewers, can they relate to these topics? Can they relate to the guests? It is very important. You can have anyone on the show, but if you have a certain message, then your guests and those topics and those questions should kind of tie into that message.
Wow. How local are your ambitions, and has the internet played a role in reaching outside of that?
Well, it's great to be in a local area like Los Angeles because you have opportunity. So my ambitions are great because I get a chance to run into managers and agents and things like that. The internet has helped me a lot because we have a strong following in like Dubai and Canada, outside the United States. So if you are planning starting any business, whether it's in media or outside media, you should really be accessing the internet. Social media, you should be website, newsletters, all those things. I love the internet. It's so many possibilities with the internet.
What are your creative concerns?
My creative concerns, As far as the talk show, is that I really just need, right now and where I'm at, is that we need more access to the studio and more studio time. My other creative concern is that I really worry about, okay, I got this idea, and I'll see this idea, and then I'll have this idea in my head, and I'll look up, and it's on another talk show. And I'm like, that drives me so crazy.
What inspires you?
What inspires me? Well, I like to do better than last time. And I always like to challenge myself to help women. I really think it's important that women network with each other more than pull each other down.
Who or what influences you?
My biggest influence will always be my grandmother. I don't think people should look outside or people in Hollywood and the media to be to influence them.
What would you change about mainstream media?
I probably would change the way women are portrayed in mainstream media and the way women accept what is given to them. I am always shocked and I'm always disappointed in that women allow things to happen to them. And when I say that, I'm saying that we control the purse. We are the group that the advertisers target. We control the advertising dollar. We do the shopping. We do not have to stand for anything, but we do not have the ability as women to stick together and force the media to treat us right. So we don't have to put up with being mistreated in the media and being portrayed as one way. All we have to do is just band together and they'll change it, because money is everything in the media.
What would you change about public media?
People should be allowed to say what they want. If you're offended, change the channel. Switch the station.
What does the term public access mean to you?
To me, is that the public have access to different entertainment, different information, different news. And sometimes in that different entertainment, news, and information, you find something, wow, that's really special. You have to think about someone like Tom Green, who took his show from public access to MTV. That's very rare. It's not done that often. And people have the opportunity to be creative, and maybe they don't have the necessary resources or income to, go to a big studio, but that doesn't, public access allows them to start their dreams, to have a goal, and to go, mainstream.
How has your show changed or evolved since your original concept?
Well, the show has evolved because we started out as a college project, then we went into my living room, and then we went into the studio. And I had to make a lot of set designs. Every week I'm like, okay, I need to fix this, this, and that. The second thing is that I had to go back to the original formula. We got sidetracked for a minute, but once I went back to the original concept, the formula that I knew would work, opportunity came.
Where do you now see your show going in the next year?
Well, I see myself producing more shows. I have a lot of shows that I'm ready to produce. I see other shows that I think would be great on television. I see the show on a backlot. Every time I drive by Warner Brothers, which is every single day, I just stop and I look at the posters and I look at Ellen and I go, okay, I'm coming. I'm coming for you.
What drives you to serve your community?
You know what? It's very important to give back. I'm really involved in the community, just not with the talk show, but last year we did Adopt a Family, where we adopt a family here for downtown LA, and we did that for the holidays. And then before that, we had put together for 15 young girls who were sex slaves, and we put together some bags for them, and so they can have like a little night, a night together. And I also volunteer for School on Wheels. It's a homeless organization that helps kids, read and write and, stay focused with school. It's very important to give back. I mean, you cannot just take. That's not what the world is about. It has to have a little balance. And I think it's important to give back to the community, just because sometimes you never know who you're influencing. You never know who said, okay, finally, someone believes in me. You don't have to always be a teacher or a counselor. Sometimes just showing up every week is enough.
What 5 words would best describe your show?
The 5 words that best describe Everyday Woman is transcending, empowerment, different, courageous, and strength.
What is the most important message you want to send home to your viewers?
The most important message I would like to send to my viewers is to never give up. Never give up on a dream. Giving up is the easiest thing you can do. It is so hard to keep going when everyone else think you're going to fail.
All right, thank you.
Hello, my name is LaCora Stevens, and I am producer and host of the Yes Show, Young, Entertaining, and Saved. And this is a 30-minute talk show where I basically highlight Christians in the entertainment business.
What are your goals with your show?
The goals for the Yes Show is to move this nationally, to have a wider audience, not just here in Pasadena, California. So it will be in California as well as Florida, Georgia, Washington, everywhere in the United States. My goal is to basically have a national syndicated show.
Who is your audience?
My audience for Yes Show, it's a myriad of folks. I have young people, I have older people, I have males, females, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, because I use my Facebook to reach out to my audience. And I realized that it's so many different people. It's not just, teenagers or young adults. It's actually the seasoned Christian or even the saint or the sinner. Everyone kind of partakes in the Yes Show.
How local are your ambitions, and do you hope to reach others outside of Pasadena?
My ambitions are not really local. Yes, I want to serve Pasadena community. However, the bigger picture is to always reach the masses. I feel like my ambitions is to make sure it goes beyond the walls of Pasadena.
What are your creative concerns?
My creative concerns for the Yes Show is that it isn't too cliche, that it isn't too normal, or that sometimes it isn't too much. I want to be like in that middle ground, because coming from theater, I love spectacle. I want to see like everything happen in one show. So sometimes with my creativity, I'm concerned if they consider it to be too much or just too cliche. Yeah.
Who or what influences you?
Let me just say Oprah gosh darn Winfrey is impeccable. She's crazy, like crazy in a good way. She even started like a little show up on the East Coast doing something like what we do at Pasadena Media. She had a small little studio, she didn't have an audience, and so when I go back into her career and I see what she's done and how it has just evolved, she has her own freaking network, for goodness sake, and so that would be my who. The what would be entertainment business, up-and-coming artists who don't really get that moment to shine, because a lot of times it's about your name. If you haven't been in that mega film, don't want to know about you. And so I want to interview the up-and-coming, because they don't get that chance. They just don't.
What would you change about mainstream media?
I would change how they sensationalize everything in the media to be so quick with the reality, with the drama, with the over sexuality. It's just becoming to be a bit much. We need some entertainment, some television, movies that are actually showing inspirational work, that are motivating people to make some changes, that is inspiring hope.
What does the term public access mean to you?
The term public access means to me that anyone in the public has access to it, whether it is to watch, whether it is to produce, whether it is to assist. And that's what I love about Pasadena Media. Even with the content that you may have, it could be, they even said, if you want to have a naked person on there, it may not come on during family time, it'll probably come on 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's accessible to you. So to sum that up, I would just say liberty or freedom. That's what public access means to me.
What is the greatest success or the worst disaster you've had?
Let's talk about success. Okay, a taping that I did. We did 2 shows in one day. Everything ran smoothly. Lights were perfect. CG was great. Credits were good. The roll-ins were on time. Everything worked out perfectly. And I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. It's really happening. And in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like really happening. And from those shows that I'm speaking of, I was able to get my first celebrity, artist to come in. His name is Kel Mitchell. He saw the show and he was like, yeah, it was really good. It was professional. And I was like, you think so? Really? And so seeing that, I was so happy with the crew. With the director of the show, Lilia, Brandon, Jimmy, they were just so on it. And I was like, thank you guys so much because it was perfect. Perfect.
So that was
probably my greatest success.
What 5 words would best describe your show?
5 words that will describe my show would be entertaining, fun, vivid, uplifting. It is uplifting. And inspirational. Those are the 5 words, yeah.
How did you first come up with Yes and this whole concept?
Oh gosh, Anna, when I was given the opportunity to have my own show, I'm like, okay, well, what kind of show can I have? Well, I like fashion because I love to shop. I just do. I have a problem. Pray for me. But I'm frugal, so I'll go to thrift stores and I'll hit the clearance racks first, unless they're shoes. I have to spend money on shoes. So anyways, all of a sudden, just like literally like that, I was like young, entertaining, and safe. It could be the Yes Show. And Aaron Wilder, he worked there, he was like, yeah, I like that. And so he was like, I think you should do it. And I was like, well, is there a show like that already? And he was like, no. He was like, there are interview shows, but nothing of what you're talking about. And so that's how the Yes Show was birthed.
How do you choose the topics? Because you guys cover a whole range of
I know, my gosh. We choose the topics based off of who I have access to. A lot of times it kind of happens that way. So if someone says, oh, I'm really interested in being on the show, and I'm like, oh, well, what's your expertise? What do you do? And they're like, oh, I'm a singer. And I'm like, okay, so we can have a show about singing, and then I go and I look into the news to see what's going on with singing, to see how we can tie it in with he say, she say. So that's kind of how I do it. Or sometimes my friend Robert C. Mitchell, he's my segment co-host, and Ariel Kirkland, she's the stage manager for the show. They'll say, oh, Coco, we have some great ideas for you. How about this? And I'm like, I like that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
What drives you to serve your community in this way?
The drive to help my community with public access would have to be seeing that in the community for young adults and for just positive stuff, it just isn't a lot going on. So the lack of was the drive, because as a young adult and as a Christian, I don't have anything to do. And it's a shame. Like, even with my church, they don't have a lot of young adult stuff. Even on television, there aren't any shows that are healthy. It's like garbage. Like, really, like if you eat a bunch of junk food all day and then you just feel like junk. Same thing with television. What you put in, it's like you start to feel that. It's making me turn into garbage or act like garbage. And so because we don't really have those shows around in the community, just cutting on your television and seeing what's on, it's like we don't have that. Let's go ahead and fill that in.
That's great. What is the most important message you would like to send home to your viewers?
The most important thing that I want my viewers to know and identify with and actually put into effect will be that you have talent. And so with the talent that you have, use it to serve the God who gave it to you. You know, don't use your talent for evil, and it's with some of the reality shows or whatever. Use it for good, to glorify Him. You know, if you're an actor, if you're a singer, use it. You know, change the whole ideology that you had that, oh, well, maybe I can't make money if I do it for God. So maybe what I could do, I could go ahead and do it the world's way so that I could make, money like this. but God could give everything that you need. He's God. Like, He's God. You can't have an excuse and say, oh, well, maybe I'm too old and I can't use my talent. You're served the Father of time. Absolutely you can. It doesn't matter that you're 67 years old, that you're 80 years old. You know what I mean? Use the talent that you have and use it to serve God, to glorify Him. That's the message that I want all the viewers to take with them.